I've been pondering a deep philosophical question posed by a reader. It goes something like this. All this grumpy man does is grunt, and why did that make my coochie tingle? Thoughts.
An anatomically specific query, derived, I assume, from reactions to the book we're discussing today, which is, let me see, It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey.
That's the one. Where apparently a rich LA influencer type gets financially grounded by her stepdad after some public oopsie involving a rooftop pool, I think, and gets shipped off with her sister to run a dive bar. In a fishing town. This sounds like witness protection disguised as a rom-com.
The premise described by reviewers does involve Piper Bellinger, a fashionable socialite being sent to Westport, a small Pacific Northwest fishing town, to manage her late father's bar. A fish-out-of-water scenario, as they say. She encounters a local sea captain, Brendan Taggart. Grumpy sunshine. Opposites attract, these terms appeared frequently.
Grumpy sunshine? Like Oscar the Grouch dating a sentient disco ball. And this Piper character, hoo boy. Talk about splitting the room. People either found her, and I quote, endearing, loyal, and just full of love, a real heart of gold, or
conversely beyond air-headed, a spoiled brat, someone waffling on about, quote, random rich white girl nonsense. The division seems quite stark.
Stark, it's a chasm. She gets compared to Alexis Rose from Schitt's Creek constantly. Which, okay, I see it. But also Elle Woods. Shah Horowitz. Is she accidentally brilliant, or just really good at picking out shoes while navigating existential dread in flannel country? One reviewer just couldn't stand her shallow self. Ouch.
Yet many others specifically praised her character development. Her growth from perceived superficiality to finding purpose was, according to numerous comments, one of the highlights. Piper has some of the best character development, one person wrote, so I was rooting for them every step of the way.
Rooting for her, or rooting for Brendan, the grumpy sea captain, to finally crack a smile. Because he sounds like another piece of work the readers couldn't agree on.
Indeed, Brendan Taggart elicited reactions ranging from the emphatic "this man is the blueprint" to the rather pointed comment, "Brendan filthy primate, I hate him."
Filthy primate, I hate him. See? Blueprint or primate? That's the question. Is he the strong, silent type who secretly builds you pergolas, which someone swooned over, or is he, as others suggested, an alpha hole, a Neanderthal? Maybe even misogynistic.
There were certainly criticisms regarding his possessiveness and jealousy. One reviewer noted, his possessiveness and jealousy would in fact ring alarm bells for many people I know. Another labeled him a sexist one-eyed alpha male.
Alarm bells? Like DEFCO 1 relationship warnings. Or just charmingly protective caveman vibes, because some people loved that. They called him a grumpy cinnamon roll. A cinnamon roll? But one that might also say things like, what was that quote? Ah, yes. Fuck me. You can be as high maintenance as you want, honey. But I'm the only one who does the maintenance.
That line was cited, yes. Interpretations clearly varied. Is it devotion or territorial assertion?
Or just really confusing home repair advice? And speaking of confusing and potentially alarming, the spice. The spice levels caused whiplash.
Ah, the explicit content. Yes, that was a significant point of division. Many praised it sizzling, fire panty-melting, well-written dirty talk. One person declared Tessa Bailey their queen of dirty talk.
Queen of dirty talks. While others were apparently running laps, out of laughter, or calling it cringy, awkward, even pure pornography. Can something be both fire and induce laughter laps? Is that even physically possible?
The subjective nature of reader experience. It's fascinating. There was particular commentary on the contrast between the explicit nature and the cover art.
The cartoon cover. Yes. Someone literally wrote, actual laughing out loud, at the way they put a cartoon cover on a book this absolutely filthy. It's like putting a picture of kittens on a bottle of industrial solvent. Misleading advertising. Though, one reviewer did admit, update 2022. Still fucks, and my husband thought so too. So, maybe the filth has its fans, or maybe her husband just agrees with everything. We need answers.
That particular comment was memorable. It speaks to the intense personal reactions the book provoked. There were mentions of specific scenes generating strong responses. The initial party incident, Brendan's small gestures, and a scene set in a hospital.
The hospital? You don't bury the lead. People were losing their minds over the hospital scene. Some called it primal, raw, incredibly hot. Others, cringe over the top. One poor soul apparently audibly screamed, because I was so humiliated for them. Screamed in humiliation. Was it a medical emergency disguised as romance? Or just really awkward bedside manner?
The descriptions suggest a highly explicit encounter in an unconventional setting. It certainly seems to be one of the shock value moments reviewers frequently highlighted, for better or worse. Much like the third act conflict, which some found contrived or rushed.
Ah, the classic third act breakup. Gotta have the manufactured drama before the happily ever after, right? Unless you're one of the reviewers who said, and I quote, 5-star read ruined by a bad ending. So maybe not so happy. Or maybe just predictably tropey. People compared this book to Schitt's Creek meets The Simple Wild meets Legally Blonde. Oh. It sounds less like a book and more like a pop culture fever dream.
The comparisons were numerous. Schitt's Creek and The Simple Life featured prominently, but amidst the chaos and the filth, reviewers did consistently praise certain elements.
Oh, do tell. Were there moments between the grunting and the questionable hospital activities where something nice happened?
The chemistry between Piper and Brendan was frequently described as sizzling, off the chart. The grumpy sunshine dynamic itself was lauded, and as mentioned, Piper's character development received widespread appreciation. Many also noted the humor, the witty banter, laughing out loud while reading.
Witty banter? Like, my hugs are your recharging station. That was a quote, wasn't it? Is that witty? Or just electrically confusing?
It was cited as a moment of connection. Another reviewer stated, "It warms your heart and captures your soul. And this book left a permanent smile on my face. It's feel-good romance with a side of steam."
Feel-good romance with a side of potential misogyny and questionable medical facility etiquette? Okay, here's one for you. Straight from the divided heart of these reviews. Brendan's whole vibe, that intense, possessive. I'm the only one who does the maintenance thing. Is that peak romance, the protective alpha dream? Or is it just a walking red flag parade? I think it depends entirely on whether he brings good coffee. Let us know.
An interesting perspective. We actually received an email.
Ooh, dish visit from the filthy primate person. Did they send diagrams?
No, it reads. I completely related to that reviewer who said, "Listen, I'm a spoiled brat myself, so it's a given that I'd rate this highly, because fuck get me a Brendan to put up with my ass." Piper wasn't airheaded. She was just living her truth. Why should she change? 5 stars for Piper, 0 stars for judgmental sea captains, unless they're hot.
Right. It seems Piper's initial persona, while criticized by some as shallow or vapid, resonated with others on a relatable level. Which brings us back to the sensitive content flags raised by reviewers.
Ah yes, the flags, let's wave them. We had the explicit sex, obviously. The dirty, raunchy, filthy sex, as one reviewer so poetically put it, mentions of I'm butt stuff, language like wine for my cock that made some cringe into oblivion. And that whole feminine flesh versus masculine strength thing people pointed out. Sounds like someone swallowed a 1950s gender roles textbook.
Several reviewers did explicitly criticize the gendered language and constant gender essentialism. And Brendan's behavior as discussed, was labeled possessive, controlling, sexist, and potentially toxic by a number of readers. There were also comments about the handling of his grief, specifically mentioning him, quote, kicking his dead wife while she was literally down.
Oof, kicking the dead wife, that's not very Blueprint, is it? Maybe the primate people were onto something. It's all very confusing.
It highlights the extreme polarization this book seems to generate. Praised chemistry, debated character arcs, controversial spice. Questions about relationship dynamics and gender roles. The reactions are all over the map.
All over the map. Like Piper trying to navigate Westport without GPS, probably. So, final verdict time. What's the official rating based on this delightful mess of opinions?
Well, given the evidence, the intense adoration, alongside the intense criticism, the swooning versus the cringing, the blueprint versus the primate, it's difficult to assign a simple score. It appears to be a book that evokes powerful, albeit contradictory, responses.
Powerful, contradictory. Okay, I got it. For it happened one summer, I'm giving it 3.5 coochie tingles from grunting, out of a possible 5 actual laughing out louds at filthy cartoon covers, with a special demerit for potentially disrespecting the deceased. How's that?
Inventive as always. It seems clear that readers either fall head over heels for this book's specific blend of charm, steam, and grumpy fishermen, or they find the characters and content problematic, cringy, or simply not to their taste.
Exactly. You might love it. You might hate it. You might need a cold shower. You might need therapy. You might, like one reviewer, declare there are enough circles in hell for the amount of sins I would let this man commit upon my fleshy vessel. Who knows?
Indeed. The only way to truly know which side of the Westport divide you fall on, it seems, is to experience It Happened One Summer for yourself. If you dare.
Do it, find out if you're Team Blueprint or Team Primate. Join us next time when we attempt to explain the literary significance of alien abduction romance. It'll be educational.
I look forward to it with anticipation.
Keep it weird.